The Olympic Games was last year's big event in Beijing, and in its wake it left a bustling modern metropolis with aspirations to become a true world city. And like any world city, Beijing wants a world-renowned sports club. Beijing Guoan is the Chinese capital's #1 football team. They attract average crowds of around 30,000 and have been regular qualifiers for continental tournaments, but they've never been champions of their own nation. Korean coach Lee Jiang-soo has been given responsibility for changing that.
If you compare professional teams in China with those in Korea, you find that the level of the Korean game is slightly better. You also find that players here are perhaps not fully aware what being professional means. I try to fix these things, but they aren't that easy to fix.
When China's Pro League started in 1994, it featured some exceptional local players, but the talent stream seems to have dried up of late. Foreigners have been drafted into Chinese clubs ever since the professional revolution, and now they seem more important than ever.
Foreign players inspire Chinese players with their football skills and their ways of thinking. They improve the team in many ways. They inspire the younger players, and they influence the way the whole team plays.
Guoan's squad features 5 foreign players. Amongst them is Australia's Ryan Griffhits. He started out with Sydney's Northern Spirit, graduated to the A-League's Newcastle Jets, and then took off for Europe before being lured back east.
I was playing with Rapid Bucharest, and I was there for about 6 months, and then got an offer that came in from China saying that they would like my service in China. And I spoke with my girlfriend about it, and she said, yeah, let's go for it. So we ended up in China.
Ryan spent 2 years with Liaoning before they were relegated. But he'd impressed other Chinese teams. Beijing came in for him and then found they might be able to double up.
As soon as I spoke with my president, once I signed, I said, look, my brother, it'd be great if we could partner each other up front. And he was like this, your brother plays football?
At first I smirked at it, but the more the negotiations went on and the more I was Googling Beijing City, the more I wanted to go. And I think, you know, I was in Australia, I think I was just stuck in mud a little bit. You know, I just wasn't really going anywhere. So this come up, and you know, I think it's a great move.
And that's how Beijing's charge for their first domestic championship has come to be spearheaded by 2 Australian brothers. Of course, Beijing is very different to the beach lifestyle of Newcastle, New South Wales, but the nation's capital offers plenty to the curious.
They like to keep us in camp a little bit, but then when we get our time off, there's a lot of things to do. We have plenty of restaurants we like to go to, and a couple of bars. We've got ourselves some bikes and just cruise around the city. It's nice.
I think after the Olympics it became a lot more cleaner, a lot more touristy. So, you know, I think Beijing's a great city for myself to live in. I've got a young family now, so they're going to join me in a couple of months, and hopefully they can enjoy it just like I have.
Their teammates know Joel and Ryan as Dager and Xiaoge, Big G and Little G, and they've contributed goals and pace up front. Joel, Big G, scored 3 goals in his first 5 matches.
Big G is a typical European sort of player. He plays better as a winger than as a striker, but he's always very calm in front of goal. That's really good.
Ryan is more of a known quantity in Chinese circles and scored 2 spectacular goals in Beijing's 6-2 demolition of 2007 champions Changchun.
Little G is good at playing in almost every position on the pitch. He's also very fast. He's good at breaking through the opposition's defence. When he makes decoy runs, it gives us more space to pass.
With a third of the championship played, Beijing's currently top, ahead of Shandong on goal difference. Han Shu was part of the first pro squad in 1994. That season, they came 8th. Since then, he's seen the Imperial Guard finish third 5 times and runners-up twice. The tag of nearly men is well deserved.
I know all about the sort of pressures they're under, as I played at the top level as well for 12 years. Everyone who has anything to do with the club, and especially the fans, are just desperate to see Beijing win the championship.
Unfortunately, one part of the Beijing season hasn't gone so well. They were one of 4 Chinese teams to enter the Asian Champions League, and all 4 failed to make it to the last 16. Perhaps it shows that local clubs still trail behind those from Japan and Korea. But how does this squad compare with others from Beijing's past? Joel is full of praise for the way his teammates have gelled.
The good thing about the Chinese players or our team this year is that there is no standout player. Everyone works hard for each other. If you're Chinese, Korean, Australian, Croatian, whatever, everyone's working and they have one common goal, and that is to win the championship. And I think the good thing about being here is that everyone's gone along really well.
The visit of Nagoya to the Workers' Stadium for the final meaningless ACL group game has only attracted hardcore support, but no encounter between Chinese and Japanese teams is ever without a touch of needle. Although Coach Lee is using the match to blood some younger players, Joel is leading the line. A domestic suspension means he's had fewer opportunities recently to maintain his match fitness. But it's Nagoya who take the lead. In the second half, Ryan comes on to join his brother and provide the Japanese defence with a few more problems. And Guo Hui equalises with a few minutes left. Beijing's ACL campaign may be over, but to many of their fans that's merely been a distraction from the real business, the task of becoming champions of China in 2009. It's going to be a tough job, but if it happens, then a good part of that success will have come from down under.